Thanks, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hello. Yes, I'm Scott Bates. I'm here to follow up on a Public Information Act request. So the point is, Section 553, it says information will be available during office hours at a minimum. And so if you have a provision, yes, Scott Gates. Mm-hmm. So anyway, what the law says is failure or refusal of an officer for public information to provide access to or copying of public information. An officer for public information or the officer's agent commits an offense if, with criminal negligence, the officer or the officer's agent fails or refuses to give access to or permit or provide the copying of public information to a requester as provided by the chapter. So what we're going to do is give them the opportunity to fail or refuse to provide access to public information. Okay, thank you. You can just go have a seat. So a little background, the request was filed in March of this year. This is September. In June, the Attorney General ruled that the information was public information and had to be released. So far, there's not been any information released in response to that request. Maybe a little bit of information. Yes, sir. I'm here to follow up on the Public Information Act request for me and Mr. McCain. Mm-hmm. So the way I calculated, there's 3,850 outstanding Public Information Act requests.
I don't know the exact number.
Okay. So it said that they were delivered yesterday to the office. The Postal Service said that they were delivered yesterday.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Yeah, we had also gotten those via email, and I responded to Mr. McCain, yeah.
Yeah, your response said that you were going to treat them all as one request.
Yep.
And we had that, and I didn't find the provision in the law.
It became effective September 1st.
Okay, I was looking at the law before then. So there was a law that went into effect September 1st that says you can treat all requests received in one day from one requester as one request.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So you released some information to David Stua that's responsive to my request. Are you going to fail or refuse to provide access to that to me?
I don't know what that was in reference to. Mr. Burks responded to that request, and I don't know what all's involved in it.
Well, here's a sample of it. It was a list of 481 people
Enter a computer from Rebecca's office
that were admitted into pretrial intervention. And that is responsive to my pending request, the one that's been pending since March.
You want that?
Yeah, it was released to him. Whatever was released to Mr. Stua, I think if it's responsive to him and it was released to him, it should be released to me in response to my request for public information.
Well, if you want to modify your request to request this specifically, I can do that.
My request covers that.
Yeah, your request covers a whole lot of stuff.
And the Attorney General...
You've never clarified that you want anything less. Do you want something less?
I want the responsive information. That's responsive.
Okay, well, send me a request for it. Anything else?
So, okay, yes, there was also some emails for, there's a pending request for emails and text communications related to Amanda Dillon,
That's been sent off to the AG for an opinion.
and there's no responsive information available at this time for it.
Whatever Mr. Burks would have covered you on.
Okay, I didn't receive any responsive information to that one.
When did you make the request?
Several days ago.
Like I say, Mr. Burks handled that. I know that I discussed it with him and he sent it off for an opinion. So yeah, there's responsive information, but we believe that there's exceptions.
To all of it?
I don't know the details of it. Like I say, Mr. Burks, you can go up, he's on the 4th floor if you want to go see him, announce yourself there if you want to.
He's on the 4th floor?
Yeah.
Okay, we'll go up to the 4th floor.
Okay.
Please use the door. That's the staff entrance only. I'm not gonna make it easy, that's for sure. Hi, I need to see Brody Burks.
Okay, can I get your name?
Scott Gates.
Okay, if you want to have a seat, sir.
Thanks.
Okay, that's fine.
I don't understand why he believes you need to modify your request to get less information.
Well, under the Texas Public Information Act, if you file a second request, they can say that you abandoned your first request that covers more information. So what they want you to do is request less information, then they give you just a little bit. So it's a standard tactic.
Mr. Gate,
Yes.
Brody's not in his office right now.
Okay.
I don't know where he went to, so.
Okay. Hey, Mark, how's it going? All right.
You may check down on the 2nd floor. If he stepped out, they may know.
Sterling sent me up here.
Oh, did he?
Yeah, I already talked to Sterling.
Okay.
Not much, trying to get some information. You sit on the pretrial intervention board?
It's what that's.
Everybody gets a shot at it? Okay. And no idea when they'll be back?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
I didn't even see him walk out.
All right, thanks. Yeah, the legislature actually covered that because they said that public information will be available at a minimum during office hours. So if you're there during office hours, it doesn't really matter whether somebody's available to help you out or not. It's the legislature made it their job to make that information available. So, you can stop it now. I don't even know how to stop.
Well, I would